Have you heard the theory that the greatest financial heist in history was actually allegedly the seed money for the world's most notorious billionaire scandal? To understand Ghislaine Maxwell, you have to understand the man who taught her everything, her father, Robert Maxwell. Long before the world knew the name Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Maxwell was a colossus of the London media scene. But the red flags were everywhere. As early as 1971, a government investigation into his business dealings concluded that he was not, in their opinion, a person who can be relied on to exercise proper stewardship of a public company. Despite that official warning, he was allowed to remain at the helm of a massive media empire for another 20 years. Maxwell's business model was reportedly terrifyingly simple. A former staffer claimed that he specifically targeted companies with healthy pension funds. He'd acquire the business and, according to later reports, immediately begin moving the employees' retirement assets into private firms he controlled to prop up his own debts. Records suggest he began this redirection as early as 1985. He was allegedly looting the future of 32,000 workers while they were still at their desks. How did he hide it? He used the law of libel as a weapon, issuing over 100 gagging writs to silence any journalist who asked questions. Even his own auditors at Coopers & Lybrand reportedly noted the pension scheme looked too good and had grounds to be suspicious, but they concluded it wasn't their job to investigate further. By 1991, the walls were closing in, and the Colossus was about to fall. Robert Maxwell wasn't heading for a jail cell. On November 5th, he stepped onto his luxury yacht, the Lady Ghislaine, and vanished into the Atlantic. Robert Maxwell's body was found floating face-up in the ocean. But while the world was debating if it was suicide or murder, his favorite daughter was preparing to move to New York. Was his perfect crime actually the beginning of something much darker? As his empire crumbled, Maxwell was reportedly desperate. He allegedly used major financial institutions, including Goldman Sachs, to secretly buy back his own shares and artificially prop up the price. A later inquiry stated the bank bore substantial responsibility for the market manipulation. Even while he was under intense scrutiny, the system was helping him keep the plates spinning. This is where it gets chilling. Robert Maxwell was persistently alleged to be an asset for various intelligence agencies, including MI6 and the Mossad. Some conspiracy theorists believe he was liquidated because he knew too much. And then there's the legacy. When Robert died, the money was gone, but Ghislaine Maxwell soon emerged as the right hand to Jeffrey Epstein. Many have questioned if the stolen pension funds and the intelligence secrets Maxwell held became the black budget for the Epstein network. The aftermath of the £800 million heist was a slap in the face to the victims. Maxwell's sons, Kevin and Ian, were put on trial for fraud but were found not guilty of all charges. Not one single person went to prison for the 32,000 pensioners who lost their life savings. Meanwhile, the lawyers and accountants who managed the fallout reportedly walked away with over £60 million in fees. Years earlier, Maxwell looked at a journalist after a court victory and gave a slow, deliberate wink. It's the defining image of his life, a man who believed he was above the law. Robert Maxwell may have died in the Atlantic, but many believe his playbook of influence, blackmail, and stolen wealth lived on for another 30 years through his daughter Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. What do you think happened on that yacht? Researching these cases takes hours. Your likes and follows are the caffeine that keeps me going. It's free for you and means the world to me. Join the crew.